Yeah, no, his height is 6'4". His weight is 315 pounds. His school that he attended was NC State. I've got his combine numbers here, but I'm pretty sure our audience can find them on the NFL website anyway. But his strengths are he's very athletic. He's got natural and smooth movement. Plays with snap quickness. So off the snap, he's very quick. He's got above average instincts. He's got a good upper body turn. He's able to maneuver. And his tackling on the line of scrimmage stood out to me. His weaknesses are his play strength. It isn't consistent. He doesn't display lower body anchor that teams like. His body control and contact balance are below average. So when he's getting contacted, his balance isn't very good to maintain in the play. He's got a low production, and his ball rush isn't there for me either. And I have a grade on him about round 4 or 5. I'm going to say towards the middle of round 4. I think some teams will like him based on some of his tape. So that's where I would go with him to begin with.
Okay. So he's more of a, would you say he's more of a run stuffer or a pass rusher?
I would say he's a tweener.
Do a little bit
I don't
of both.
really think I don't really think he excels in both of them.
Okay.
But I think he's good at both of them, I suppose. Like, I don't really see him being excellent at both, but I think it could be a little bit of a tweener. You could, mix it up a little bit with him.
By the way, you mentioned that his power isn't that, explosive enough, isn't up there, which makes sense. Looking at the combine numbers, we explained last episode that we had a baseline for all for the elite level.
Yeah.
So for power, we measured power and explosiveness by adding a bench press, broad jump, and vertical. In inches, broad in inches. And if it came up to be 170 or above, that means they're very powerful. They have good power, elite level. And we got that by looking at the numbers from the top 3 techniques in the NFL. BJ Hill falls a little short at 162.5. And that's because it's broad and vertical. And if you don't have your broad and vertical, they look at broad and vertical as the means of explosiveness, and he falls short on that. His 10-yard split, we're looking for someone who does it under 1.7 seconds. He was 1.74, isn't that bad, but his production is what I'm looking at. He's only had 2 sacks and 3.5 tackles for loss. So before I move on, let me just give you the best numbers for power. When it comes to, if you sort by power, like explosiveness index, forgetting the tape at the moment, Taven Bryan, Harrison Phillips, and Deshaun Hand had the explosive over the elite baseline they were looking for. So these guys, Bryan, Harrison Phillips, Deshaun Hand has the explosiveness, and you can tell that on tape as well. When it comes to production, we looked at production by adding up sacks and tackles for loss for their final year divided by games played. And the elite baseline for defensive tackles is 1 or more. We've actually had quite a few with 1 or more. Harrison Phillips stood out with 1.75. That was more than, everybody else. Maurice Hurst had a 1.42, Nathan Shepard 1.38, Breland Speaks 1.38, Tim Settle, Justin Jones, RJ McIntosh, Derek Nady, and Taven Bryan all had over 1. BJ Hill was 0.42, and surprisingly, Daron Payne was 0.14. Now, it could be because of they played two-gapping, they weren't asked to penetrate as much during the running down. So that could be one of the reasons. But they're just a tool to understand what they did in college. So, Anyways, I'll take a guy. Who am I looking at? I'll take it. Vita Vea. Now, Vita Vea. Oh, sorry, my phone rang. Vita Vea is a guy. Let me find his numbers here. His explosiveness power was up there. Now, actually, I didn't mention Vita Vea in the power index because he didn't do the broad and vertical. I think he got a little injured running the 40. So guys like Nathan Shepard, Breland Speaks, Tim Settle, RJ McIntosh, and Vita Vea, they didn't run all their combines, so we don't know what their power index is. But he bench pressed 41 times. That is friggin' strong, man. Usually defensive tackles do around 30 to 35 if they're good. And he went 41, so he has the stamina and the strength. We definitely know how to play up front. Now let's look at his tape. Let's find Vita Vea. All right, so I have him. His strengths: strong as a bull, strong anchor, never push back versus double team, can easily collapse pocket with a bull rush, has very strong hands and first punch, moves very well for a man his size, has good instincts and a high motor. Weakness: usually slow to get off the ball, needs to add pass rush moves besides the bull rush. Sometimes he plays the push-pull move, but needs to add more moves. Just tries to get to the quarterback with the bull rush and sometimes a swim. He relies on his strength too much. He stands up, too high. But overall summary, very strong, athletic for his size, and unblockable against the run. You're not gonna push him out of the way in the run game. If he adds a couple of pass rush moves, he'll be an unstoppable 3-down player. Can play 0, 1, and even 5 tech in the NFL. Starts day one at 1 technique with the Raiders and shuts down the run. And with our new coaching staff, he can be a perennial Pro Bowl player. He can go to the Pro Bowl if he keeps it up. Every year. He's just that good. I got him a early to mid first round grade on him. If he just had a little bit of better technique in the pass rush, he'd be like a top 5, top 10 player, no question. So he just has to work on that leverage. Don't stand up too high, shoot off the gap. But overall, man, this guy is he has the tools to be something special. I got him early to mid first round grade, like a top 15 or so.
Okay, so that's Vita Vea then. To be honest with you, I completely agree with everything you've said. I think that he does obviously need to improve his pass rush.
Yeah, and for a guy that's 347, he's 347 pounds.
Yeah.
So he moves
he's very
really
mobile
well
for
a guy that big.
So, and obviously the Raiders need a pass rushing defensive tackle. Do I think Vita Vea is the one?
What he can do is at least occupy 2 people. Because there's no one guy that's he can at least, if he doesn't get any sacks, he'll collapse the pocket at least, and make it hard for the quarterbacks to step up. So he will, and if he's double teamed, then that leaves Mac, single covered. So
I think that's a very good point. If you're looking for a defensive tackle who's going to rush the quarterback, I don't think Vita Vea is going to be that guy personally. Right. But if you're looking for a guy who's going to be disruptive and create gaps for other people, then he fits that bill completely. But who knows, if he improves his skill set, I think he could be a valuable pass rush threat. But who knows? We're all talking theoretically. Raiders might not even pick him, so who knows?
Yeah, he's definitely worth a look.
Yeah, especially at 10.
Yeah, he's definitely worth a look.
Any lower than that, I wouldn't personally. But at 10, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
So it's me now, isn't it?
Yep. See you, man.
I've got Harrison Phillips.
Cool.
He's actually probably my favourite defensive lineman in this draft. I just like him, like some of these guys, they stand out to you. And he definitely jumps off at me on the tape. So his height is 6'4". His weight, he's 307 pounds. He played for a very good school in Stanford. His combine numbers, as I said on the last one, you can find them on NFL.com. His strengths are he's thick-boned. He's very thick and very well built. He's an exceptional tackler. When he tackles people, they stay down. Nobody gets away from him. He's got a strong core, and that produces his power. He's quite a quality edge setter. I would say he's more of the mould of disrupting, and creating gaps for other people, and against the run. He's a pocket pusher. He looks to, collapse the pocket. He excels in single blocking. When he's in one-on-one matchups, he is an absolute nightmare to defend against. His weaknesses are he's more built like a guard. Because he's so big, he's more built like a guard. He plays too straight-legged, robbing him of base, width and balance. He's active rather than athletic. So if you're looking for someone who's going to have decent speed and who's going to pass rush, I can't really see that in him. He lacks change of direction. Also another trait that's not going to be very effective if you're trying to rush the passer. He can be walled off by quick linemen. So if they have got big, quick linemen, he can be walled off. He's not much. He hasn't got much rushing ability, as I've previously said. And for me, I see him more of a nose tackle. And I don't really think the Raiders need any more of them. To be honest with you, I don't think we need another nose tackle. But that's where I would say that he would start day one in that position.
Yeah.
And I think he will go early round 2.
But as a Raider fit, where do you rank him? So he's a early round 2 guy, just overall, right?
Yeah, I think he'll go in between 5 and 15 of round 2.
Okay.
I think teams will like him because he could, if you train him up, he could be one hell of a nasty guy on your defensive line.
Yeah, one thing that stood out was his 42 bench press.
Yeah, he is strong. He is one of those players who, if you polish his technique, he could be make a very good impact from day one.
Yeah. No, he is strong. Just not a pass rusher. If his run strengths were pass rushing strengths, he'd be in the first round. But obviously,
he'd be one of the best. He'd be one of the best.
Yeah.
Because he's an absolute animal,
Obviously, pass rushers aren't, run stoppers aren't as valued as, as high. So.
Yeah. But I think that because of his playing style, I think he will suit a few teams in round 2. If you can get a guy like that in round 2, you're laughing, really. I think he's got something to give.
I'm not laughing. I would take. If I'm a team that needs a run stopper, I'd take him round 2. It just makes sense for the Raiders, I guess, right? Would you say?
No, we don't need it. As I said, we don't need that sort of player. As much as I like him, I think he could be disruptive, but I don't think that's the direction we'll go.
Okay. Man, my next one's going to piss some people off, but hey, it's me. I watch more film on this guy just to change my mind about him because everybody loves him so much, but I just don't see it. It's Maurice Hurst, man. Let's get to it. So, strengths. Very quick off the snap.